Hello, Dr. Pelto here. I'm here with Central Massachusetts Podiatry, and I have Mr. Marc Waxman here. Welcome, Marc.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here.
You don't have a choice. So, Marc, we're going to talk a little bit about Chi running because we're excited because May 30th, we're going to do Chi walking, and then June 6th, we're going to do Chi running, but Chi runners will be part of both of them. And we've done this. This is, I think, it's the third year we've done it here at St.
At least the third time, might even be the fourth time.
And for anyone listening, every time we kind of fills up. So if you're interested in listening to this, you either have to find Marc somewhere else doing this, or you can kind of act early. We're going to put stuff underneath this video and his email. So, but let's get into it. Marc, tell me just the kind of the bare bones. What is Chi running or Chi walking, and why should someone consider it?
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways to think about this. One is, if you think about learning to do something with your body, it could be playing an instrument. It could be something like swimming, hitting a golf ball, hitting a tennis ball, hitting a baseball. We recognize that it's probably a good idea to work with someone and get some support and training from someone who knows how to do it. Like, there's more efficient, more effective ways of doing these things. We know that. For whatever reason, when it comes to walking and to running, we don't do that. Usually at best, we might get some advice about how much to do or to what intensity to do these things. How much walking, how much running, what types of terrain, how hard to do it. But we never get feedback on, well, what do I actually do with my body? Like, again, think about hitting a golf ball and all the hours of instruction people get and the experts they invite to show them. Well, in a very real way, there is a more efficient and effective way to move your body walking and running. And in a nutshell, Chi walking and Chi running is that technique-focused way of helping someone learn to move their body efficiently and effectively. And really importantly, obviously, for people in your practice, for everyone, reduce the chance of getting injured.
That's perfect. That's perfect, Marc. And like most things in life, I'm at a phase right now where I used to read books and I used to listen to podcasts, but now with young kids, I don't have any time, so I have to go to events. And I think that's the reason for having a course like this. You guys could read the book, and maybe you can talk a little bit about how this started, the book. People can try to do it on their own, or they can come to a group class, or they can get individual coaching. Like, those are the options. But tell a little bit about the background about this Chi stuff, and then your personal experience with it.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned the books. I have them right here. So we have Danny and Catherine Dreyer, husband and wife, who over 20 years ago basically identified that the work that Danny was doing, studying Tai Chi with a master in Tai Chi, was very aligned with his performance as an ultramarathoner. He was a very good ultramarathoner. And he recognized the core principle connections between what he was doing in running, what he was doing in Tai Chi. And he came up with a step-by-step approach to teach anyone, regardless of their running or walking experience, regardless of their Tai Chi experience, to embed these principles in their body when they move. And I will say, I love the books, and I'm not going to ever say don't get the book. I cannot tell you the number of people I've worked with that have read the book, but then when we work in person, they're like, oh, that's what it meant. Of course, getting the feedback in person, getting to watch someone do it, having real-time feedback to yourself makes all the difference. And so, yeah, again, just like learning to play an instrument, learning to swim, something like this, that one-on-one or small group instruction makes a huge difference.
So, Marc, tell me a little bit about your background with Chi running and how you got interested or maybe injured, and maybe some other clients that you worked with. What are their stories?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, by my mid-30s, I was not the athlete I thought I was anymore. from high school and college. And, you know, I think it was the culminating event was doing a local 5K in the neighborhood, and my wife had been out walking the dog. And so she just happened to see the end of the race. And she said something to me like, "You looked really scrappy." And that was not a compliment. And I remember thinking, I was like trying to pass someone at the end of the race and thinking how hard it was to like keep pace with someone that I looked like was barely moving. In any case, I was inspired to try something new. My father had given me the book and the video about you running years before. It was just sitting there. And so I took it really seriously, and I really spent the time relearning, unlearning and relearning how to move.
How long did that take to do it on your own with the coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I think within a month, I felt something different. But then certainly within a few months, things started really clicking. And some, like I had Achilles tendonitis, something I'm sure you're very familiar with, for like decades. And certainly like after playing basketball, I could like barely walk type of thing. It just went away. It just like stopped after a few months. My lower back that hurt every time I ran never hurt when I was running. So what happened was like this spiral of I am feeling better, so I'll do it more. And as I did it more, I got more fit, and you know, on and on until, you know, I was running ultra marathons, running at least 2 marathons every year, getting significantly faster, even though I was getting older. And I would just name, you know, this is kind of a take it or leave it for people. At the same time, I was beginning to practice some mindfulness and meditation. And I felt like there was a connection too. Like this was just making me more aware of my body, more aware of being present, less about just running to get through it, and more about doing it because it felt good. And I'd offer that. I think that's important for people to think about, is walking and running don't need to be this thing just to do because I'm told I should. You know, it's good for me. But instead, it could be something that becomes something you really enjoy and becomes like a sustainable, healthy habit, which is what I'm really going for when I'm working with people.
That's awesome. It sounds like something you could continue on for the rest of your life. It's not something like you dread doing, like you have to get through, but you kind of enjoy it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Can I leave you with one more thought to share
Please.
out there? I think with walking and running, how about we take this approach, which I think is very antithetical to what is typically shared, of like, make it easy. Let's make it like, especially with people you're working with that might be coming back from an injury or trying to work through something, instead of trying to push through, how about we do things with our body that make it feel good and make it sustainable, so that it's not this constant cycle of I'm doing it, I'm kind of pushing, it kind of feels hard and hurts. Okay, now I'm injured, and then I have to rest and do that. How about we just always have a positive experience? That's another thing I'm really working for.
That's great, Marc. I think injury prevention is key, especially as we get older. Things get tight. We focus a lot on that. So we're doing a Chi walking on May 30th and then Chi running on June 6th for those that want to enjoy Marc, and he usually brings another coach with him as he does that, depending on the group. It's a limited number. So I'm going to put Marc's information underneath this video. And then if it's like after the fact, I might even put some other videos that you guys can link to learn more from your website. So thank you, Marc. And we've always enjoyed having you. I think it's great for our patients. And we'll until next time.
Thank you. Thanks so much.